Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Nightly News. Ted, this has been quite an insightful week for me, and from the emails that I'm getting, I mean, really the people that are tuning in, they're really enjoying your take, on all that's going on in the world. I'm just going to jump right in. Interesting email from John from Idaho. And John, he points out that when the Canadian truckers got into Ottawa, the American mainstream media vilified them. Trudeau arrested them. Trudeau seized their bank accounts, and they called them domestic terrorists. Yet, and this is John's point here, in Russia, the citizens came out to do exactly what the Canadian truckers did, to protest peacefully something that their government was doing that they felt was tyrannical, the invasion of the Ukraine. And all across the world, the media hails them as heroes. Even Trudeau said, we must stand with those brave citizens in Russia that are willing to stand up against a tyrannical government. Wow, seems hypocritical. In fact, that's the word John uses, hypocritical. What's the Ted Nugent take on all of this?
Well, the hypocrisy is blinding. It's just too bright to even look at without a welding mask on. It's really amazing. And I would encourage my friends to not seek the motivation for such demonic behavior, but merely identify it as tyrannical, evil, abuse of power by our government, the Canadian government, and elsewhere. And again, let's encapsulate what we're talking about here. So Canadians, finally, the most polite society in the world, the most kindest, loving, tolerant people you'll ever meet to a fault, finally went, we all know the masks don't work. And we all know that it's an experimental shot. It's not a vaccine. It's not saving anybody from anything, including the weaponized Wuhan virus by the Chinese government. So you can't shut down our businesses, and you can't control our life, and you can't tell us where to go, or even if we can go anywhere. So we're going to have a peaceful protest and drive our trucks to Ottawa. Well, hallelujah. That's the freedom battle cry of peaceful protests against tyrannical abuse of power. And they've been demonized, and they've been abused and beat and jailed, and their finances destroyed. If this isn't absolute evil tyranny, I don't know what is, by Fidel Jr. up there in Canada. And then meanwhile, a glaring abuse of power by Putin and his gangbanger Russian government is protested by good citizens who have witnessed and been subjected to tyranny all their lives. They finally stand up. Protesters in Canada, bad. Protesters in Europe, heroes. Don't try to figure out why that hypocrisy exists, but just let everybody know that it is hypocrisy, and that good citizens in America and around the world will not stand for it. And I say this all the time, Keith. If we don't spotlight the cockroaches, we will be overrun. We are currently overrun by cockroaches. We've seen it in Canada. We see it in Russia. So now the media in America and everywhere else is praising Zelensky as a hero and praising the Ukrainian people to fight back against Russia. Well, certainly the free people of Ukraine who want a little bit of freedom have the right to fight back. And how do they do that? With Kalashnikovs, with AK-47s. And so our government, who's going berserk trying to disarm Americans, are praising Ukrainians for actually having real AK-47, which, by the way, no crimes in America have ever been committed with an AK-47. They keep calling AK-47 AK. No, they're not AK-47s. An AK-47 is a fully automatic Kalashnikov rifle. But isn't the hypocrisy truly stunning? We need to vote these hypocrites out of office. We need to let our mayor and our senator and congressman and governor know that they're hypocrites. And you can't disarm Americans while you're praising people fighting against tyranny with real Kalashnikovs. So John is absolutely correct that it's not good enough to just identify hypocrisy. We've got to fight against it, and that's by calling our elected employees and making sure that they know that we see it and we won't allow it any further.
Powerful, Ted. Hey, I know tomorrow night's the Friday free for all, and I do want to talk music, but I want to get to one last question from Dale G in Maryland. It has to do with inflation, probably ties into the music industry. Come back tomorrow for a Friday free for all. We'll tackle them all, right, Ted?
You bet. Nothing is sacred. And if it is, I can fix it on the Nightly Nuge.